Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's SmackDown review and opinions video. I just saw the score that you lot have given this show and it's a special show, right? It's a special show. I think the cash-in was so well received. You lot seem to really enjoy that. I've got the match scores, so let's start there, shall we? We've got loads of comments. I want to try and get through as many as we can, of course, so I'm going to try and not take too long. Andrade versus Nakamura, really fun opening match. You said it was good, 97%. I think that's fair. Michin against Piper, it was a bit of a step down, but you lot said good 95, so you still enjoyed it. Then we had Motor City Machine Guns against DIY. I think we went down again. There were some good moments in the match, but I'm pretty sure we'll end up talking about Motor City Machine Guns in this video. Good 93%. Then we had Naomi against Nia. You lot scored the match, but there probably was some people that were scoring the cash-in as well. It got great 73, which is really high. I don't think the match was quite that level. But honestly, it probably wasn't far off because there were some really fun moments. I think undeniably that was the best match up until that point. And actually the best match on the show. So great 73. But then the Tiffany Stratton cash-in. I actually got you guys to score that separately. It came out as all-time 57%. People are saying this could be the best female cash-in of all time. And honestly, there's been some great ones, but I think this is the double swerve with her coming down, but then hitting Naomi and actually Nia getting the win, only for Tiffany to then basically wipe everyone else out so that no one can interfere. It was so clever of her to do that. And the double swerve, I just didn't see it coming. And it seems like you lot really enjoyed it as well. So you said all-time 57%. To get that, an all-time moment on our very first show of the year. Then we had Bloodline taking on Jay, Jimmy, Sami. You said it was good 100%. Couldn't get into that great range, but you said it was good 100%. Yeah, I think I'm not going to get too carried away with this show because I think there's definitely moments here that could have been improved. I think the match order was wrong. We should have ended with Tiffany closing out the night, like having her and that big moment then have to be followed up with like Bloodline, Jimmy J, Sami, all of that stuff. We've seen them facing off a few times now, and it's a big deal, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I can't say that is something that was bigger than Tiffany cashing in, you know? So I think the match order was slightly wrong. I think there was maybe a few other areas we could have improved. I actually thought 3 hours was good. I think we could have shaved 20 minutes, half an hour off the show, and I think it would have made it a little tighter, but I don't think you could have took an hour out of this show. I think we did need that extra time. And again, the scores that you lot gave this show says to me that you really enjoyed it. Blue mat as well. We got to talk about the blue mat. I love it. I think it's great. I think it looks great. I don't like the one that's being rumoured for Raw. I don't know that we are going to end up getting that one, though. And actually, whilst we're talking about it, I might as well show it to you. It is this. This is going to be WWE on Netflix ring mat. We don't know, to be honest. So it's basically Fightful saying that they saw this and they are wondering if this is going to be the ring mat that's going to be used on Raw. It could be. I hope it isn't. I don't think any of us are looking to have all these sponsors on the ring canvas. It's bad enough having the Prime in the middle of like the PLE ones, but like we don't need all this. So I'm wondering if this is just put there so that when people are making their way into the building, they've got these adverts, basically. It's just a way of advertising to the live crowd as they're making their way to the seats. Plus also, don't forget, if you go to a show, there's good chance that you might film. Guys, I'm at the show, I can't believe it. And as you're filming, what are you capturing? You're capturing all of these logos in the middle of the ring. So it's not guaranteed that this is what the canvas is going to look like on Raw, and I hope it isn't. So we're going to have to wait and see. But that is what Sean Rossap was talking about. We do touch on it in Unseen. I actually thought Unseen tonight was really good. I know I'm a bit biased because I just love that video series anyway, but there was just so many talking points. There's so much news doing the rounds, probably because we're so close to that Raw on Netflix premiere. But yeah, there's just so much stuff to talk about. So anyway, that's enough of me. I've already gone on longer than I wanted. Let's jump into your thoughts. So, Alfie said, I really liked the show. The Tiffany cash-in was amazing. Matches were fun, and I even enjoyed the Drew Cody promo. Skell Doja Dog said, honestly, I thought tonight's SmackDown was solid. Highlight of the night, potentially the year, could be Tiffy Money in the Bank cash-in. 9 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't give my score. I would probably be 8.25. I feel like I'm in the 8s because that cash-in is really good. It's really good. It's the OMG moment we were looking for. And a cash-in is so special. There's only 2 every year. And we know that the Drew one got wasted. So, you know, there was a lot of pressure on this one to be a good cash-in. And they did. They delivered. Night Legacy gives it a 7. Al Patata said Shinsuke Andrade was great, but should have been 10 minutes longer. DIY Motor City Machine Gun said, as always, when the match gets interesting, Alex kicking out, the crowd get invested, the match just instantly ends. Nia Naomi, 10 out of 10. Paul Heyman, Cody took advantage. Cody is half a champion since WrestleMania 40. I like the blue mat. Feels like NXT TakeOver, but for SmackDown. Giovanni nowhere to be seen. Rating 8 out of 10. Question, where has Roman been since War Games? When Jimmy J, Sami were getting attacked, people still chant OTC. Brady said, it was a good show overall. Tiffany cashing in definitely should have main evented. I'm excited to see what we get on Monday, especially regarding the Wyatt 6. Dane said, to start the year, it was fairly strong, definitely better than recent weeks, and are hampering what we are about to actually enjoy. Oh, ads are hampering what we're about to enjoy. Yeah, I mean, not as bad for me, actually, because I was watching on YouTube, so I just had a graphic. I suppose the other thing as well is there's always comments for me to reply to. There's always tweets that I'm being sent. There's always news that's emerging or interesting messages that I'm seeing. Sometimes there's even a few little reaction clips to kind of chuck up. So I feel like, or polls to put up. I feel like I need those ad breaks. I personally need those ad breaks because it allows me to just do a few things. I actually think it'd be a nightmare if I didn't have them. So I don't really notice the ad breaks as much because for me, they serve a purpose, but I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally get where you're coming from because there are a lot of ad breaks. Carl said it's a decent show. Love Tiffany cashing in the way she did. Easily the highlight of the show. Motor City Machine Guns are more overhyped than Cody. At least Cody is decent when he actually wrestles and has great matches. Motor City Machine Guns have done nothing to deserve a single title match, let alone keep getting them, and they've already been champs. Yeah, I made this comment during the stream, and honestly, I know that it's one that's going to divide opinion. What I would say is, I don't think any comment I'm making is aimed directly at Motor City Machine Guns. I think it's aimed at their booking. I think Motor City Machine Guns have got a bit of something about them because they've been wrestling for so long that actually you could tell there was moments that the crowd was starting to go, okay, I can get with this. There was a small, this is awesome chant, but you don't know if that's not from TNA fans, right? I have no idea. Or if they have like started to just win a few people over, right? But for me, it's been, I mean, I don't know if I want to use the word disaster, but like, they are so cold. I don't give a flip about them whatsoever. And the point I made during the watch along was I've watched DIY come through NXT, and I really care about DIY. I really like Johnny Gargano. I really like Tommaso Ciampa. I really like the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins. I've supported these guys since they were in NXT. Why would WWE expect me to abandon all of that and just blindly now support Motor City Machine Guns, a team I don't know anything about, have no feelings for, have no connection with? Why would I now just abandon that kind of fandom that I have? Those feelings I have for these teams, you know? Why would I do that? I mean, I just wouldn't, is the honest answer. So for me, I just find their matches so cold, I just don't care. And I think it's not their fault. They should have gone to NXT. And then I could have got used to them, could have got to know a bit about them, could have then watched them. And then when they got called up, there'd be a chance that I would be on boards. And then I would have a connection with them. I think they've done them dirty by putting them straight onto the main roster. And then they did them even more dirty by giving them the titles in like their second or third match. Because I agree, it made them seem undeserving. It made them seem like, well, this is all easy, isn't it? And so even though the belts have been taken off of them again, we're really just waiting for the belts to go back onto them again, you know? So I don't know. I'm really struggling with them personally. And as I said during the stream, it's not even really their fault. I just think like the booking has been pretty crazy. Brandon said Rock versus John Cena. A-Double said SmackDown was good, but I missed the 2 hours, so I'm glad that Tiffany cashed in at last. The ring mat being blue was strange, but it was a fun show overall, so 8.5. Nishi said it was an excellent SmackDown. Tiffy's cash-in sequence was one of the best I have seen. The men's tag division is getting hot. Solo is standing tall. But Paul, I think, is working with The Rock. There has been a few people making this comment about how he kind of held his fingers up, but I don't know. I mean, there was people making comments about when Paul came back, he was wearing the same sort of attire as Solo, and there's been nothing to suggest that he is working with Solo. I mean, if he is working with Solo, why was he so loyal? Why was he so desperate? Why was he so grateful for seeing Solo getting beaten at Survivor Series? So I feel like we've kind of been through this. I feel like we've been through this with all these little Easter eggs, and he might even know like that he's teasing, you know? He might even know that he is doing stuff that's going to get people talking, you know? He's doing things that's going to grab attention and swerving people. So I don't know. It's one of those things to be aware of, that he's doing a hand gesture similar to what The Rock did at Bad Bloods. But certainly after the Solo attire Easter egg that came to nothing, I'm thinking he's probably more than likely just trolling the fans. But something to keep an eye on. Quack Attack said it was very good, but they should have switched the final 2 segments. Briggsy said it was a really stacked show, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Matches were fun, and I really enjoyed the Tiffany cash-in. I think the show should have ended with the cash-in. Can't wait for Monday. It's going to be huge. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the reason they didn't do that is because they used that closing segment as a way to promote Monday, didn't they? They didn't want Monday to be overshadowed by Tiffany's cash-in. I think they wanted Solo winning in the main event so that the show ended with us talking about, is he going to do that to Roman on Monday? Monday. Netflix, rather than the show closing and us not talking about those things, but instead talking about Tiffany. I think from a business point of view, they probably made the right decision. From a fan watching enjoyment point of view, it absolutely should have been switched. So I can see both sides, but I care about my enjoyment. I don't care about the business side. So I'm with you. They should have switched it to make us all happy. Patrick said, it kind of felt weird to see the usual SmackDown format, but with an extra hour. The matches have double the time they would usually have. It's going to be interesting to see how many adjustments will be given to SmackDown every week. British Wrong Style said, I really liked the show tonight. The 3 hours flew by. I thought every match was solid and there was some good storyline progression. The new Bloodline came out looking strong, which they needed to. And Tiffany's Money in the Bank moment was really unique. The double swerve really caught me off guard. 7 out of 10. Jukes Wrestling said that's how you do a cash-in. It was completely unexpected, and the twists and turns, even in those last few minutes, were perfect. Great show. Jang Tae Sang said absolutely trailblazing. What a way to start off the new era. Tiffy's champ, hell yeah. Paul being savage on the mic. Can't wait for January 6th. 10 out of 10. Daze, yeet. Ryan said it was a great show overall. Tiffany cash-in really shocked me. In my opinion, it was one of the greatest cash-ins of all time. The other matches and moments were great. I would give it 7.5. Timmy gives it an 8. I was taking my time every single time when I thought it was Tiffy time because I was predicting it in my mind. I was like, wait, she could do it. I know that you can shout out my mom. She's me and her watched one of the live streams last year. She enjoys the live streams. Timmy, thank you, my friend. 8 out of 10 from Timmy. Shout out to you. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to everyone's mom, actually. Avik said 8 out of 10. Good matches. Tiffany winning was the highlight. Another tease would have been dull, so I'm glad that she won. Tag championship match was great. I really hope that the OTC would show up, but I guess we have to wait for Raw. Yeah. Word of Wrestling said, I thought it was a great show. Really, all round felt like a nice flow. The title change to Tiffy was amazing and needed. So happy for that. Heyman, now part of the stipulation, makes things more interesting for Raw. Nia Naomi was a great match separately too. 7 out of 10. Arrows one said, SmackDown being 3 hours, I totally agree that the women's title match should have ended the show. We should have ended with the show with the cash-in main event. Shinsuke Andrade was good overall. I think SmackDown's a 7.5 for me, even though we should have ended the show with the cash-in, says Arrows one. Habs David said, I have no idea as it didn't air in my market. Rogers no longer has the rights. It appears that in Canada, NXT SmackDown will also air on Netflix, but only after the Raw premiere. Yes, you needed the link, which was in our watch-along live stream. You know, I don't want to big up what we do, but if you had joined our live stream and seen the chat, you would have seen that we had the link, which I believe worked for Canada and the UK. So it was actually on YouTube live, but they didn't really go out of their way to advertise that fact. I don't really know why, because our American friends said they clicked the link and it was saying that it was like location blocked. So I don't really know why they didn't just go bigger with it. But yeah, frustrating. I could understand that being frustrating. Dean said, I like the first 3 hour SmackDown. I like the main event. Can't wait for Raw on Netflix. So many exciting matches for money. So glad Tiffy cashed in and is a champ and loved the stream. Dean, shout out to you, buds. Nathan said it was really good and I'm happy about Tiffy cashing in. It was getting stale. Great stream. See you Monday. See you Monday, my friend. Alex said it was an excellent SmackDown. Tiffany cashing in was amazing. Paul Heyman's promo was fire. Main event was fire. I'm loving the 3 hour SmackDowns already. 9 out of 10. Real Wrestling Fan said, I have been down on SmackDown for a while, but this was an 8. Congrats to the new women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. Male Tail Thong said, absolutely loved it, but Tiffy time definitely should have closed the show. Solid 8 prettiest moonsaults out of 10. Las Vegas Matt said, I think 3 hours suits it well. I believe there might have been too many backstage bits, but I lean into quality wrestling and letting the women tag divisions and undercard wrestlers have time could only benefit the product. It's definitely Tiffy time. Fans love her. WWE Ethan said, my thoughts on the show tonight was that I got confused with how Drew was getting involved with the Kevin Cody feud. But overall, it was interesting. Michin versus Chelsea wasn't much to be excited about. Tiffany cash-in was great, but should have been the main event. Overall, 8 out of 10. Scott said, great start to the 3-hour era of SmackDown. And we need to wrap it up with Hasib. He said, don't you believe Solo got rushed out of NXT a bit early? They just thought, oh, here's a Fatu. Let's get him in the Bloodline story. Instantly. In my opinion, he looks lost as a star and was much better as Roman's enforcer. Yeah, I think he was, to be honest. I think they brought him up. And I think they had an idea of this bloodline. And I think there was probably a need for a silent enforcer. And I think he fitted that purpose. The problem is it might serve the purpose in the short term. But in the long term, what do you do with him? I think, pulling the trigger and making him the new tribal chief has not really worked, to be honest. I feel like it's a bit too big for him. I feel like Jacob's right there. Jacob in that position would be incredible. And I do just wonder if maybe they're getting a little bit of cold feet on Solo. I don't know what WrestleMania is going to look like for Solo. But, there was times where he looked a little bit lost. So, it is what it is, He's improving. He hopefully will get there eventually. But, certainly at the moment, I think a lot of people would agree he doesn't feel like the Roman replacement, right? He feels like he's not a bigger star as Jacob, to be honest. He's not even the biggest star in his own group. So, work to be done. Right, with that being said, let's have a look and see what you lot thought of the show here. So, what did you think about SmackDown 3rd of January 2025? You've gone all time. You really like this. And it's going to be the cash-in, of course. But, there was other good moments. I'll be really interested to see how this kind of settles down. Because, I don't know, was that an all-time show? Was that good enough to be an all-time show? I mean, I've seen a lot of 8s that I've just read. I think it's in the 8s. I think if it's all-time, I think it's low all-time. I think it's either really high great or really low all-time. So for me, I would say this is a little OTT, but I don't know. It's good to have good vibes around, isn't it, as well? It's good that people are really excited by what they saw tonight. I'm pleased about that. So on that positive note, we'll wrap things up there. A big thank you for joining us during the watch-along. I hope you had fun. As we said, there's a few plates that have to be spun. But, we always start a few hours before so we can really try and get to some interesting topics. I do want to try and get to as many people as possible. I would love a little counter, actually. That could be good. Set myself the goal of speaking to 100 people. And every time I speak to someone, I press a button and it changes the counter. And, at least then I know I'm getting to 100, 150 people, 200 people, whatever the number might be. That could be a good idea. It'd be another job to manage. And then I know I'd speak to someone and I'd forget to press the button and people are like, oh, you didn't press the button. Do you know what I mean? So then I'm like, do I need that headache? But I don't know. Food for thought. So, thanks a lot for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed Unseen. I genuinely think it's a good one. And we will be back tomorrow. We're going to do a special stream tomorrow. We are going to do that live stream as we watch that first Monday Night Raw. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But if not, I will see you Monday for what promises to be one of the biggest streams of the year. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.